Tied the knot, but how tight is that knot? Really, according to my next guest, every relationship has a tendency to drift apart, and without the right care and attention, even a slight drift can quickly become a big divide. So how can we tighten up those relationships that mean so much to us? Studio 5 contributor Dr. Matt Townsend has 4 conversations that will secure our connection, our love, and with those conversations, 4 thinking activities that we can work on together as a couple. So we drift?
We drift. It's like, well, it's like you tie your shoe and then an hour later it's loose and you have to tie it up. And if you're not ever moving around or doing anything, your shoes will never come untied.
Just compared our marriages to shoelaces.
It's shoelaces.
That
so
works.
You got to tighten them up a bit.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you can just knot them and just hope that nothing moves. But what this is more about is, how do I reconnect to the emotion, the feelings, the thoughts of the person that I am in love with, or was supposed to be in love with, or originally started in love with.
Air quotes.
Air quotes. And now that love's kind of just untied and starting to float away.
A good place to start, you say, is discussing the spirit of romance.
Romance. You guys used to be hot for each other. you used to not ever be able to stop being into each other, touching, wanting each other. So one of the things I want us to do is go back to the days and think about all of the most romantic moments you've had with each other.
Drum up those memories.
Drum them up. And just right now, like literally make a list. Write down the top 10 most romantic moments with your spouse. Okay. And let him do his. You write down yours, and then have a conversation. So this is a conversation that could take an entire week, but I want you to share. And what if I can't find 10? Well, then look harder, okay, you lazy bum. Look harder, because there's going to be some, but find them. And I want you to think about them and try to think about what made that romantic in your eyes. So now what you're really defining for them is what romance looked like when it was really good, and then let's start sharing those with each other. And what's amazing is it'll rekindle some fire that you may have forgot you even had.
How can we cultivate a spirit of admiration?
Remember when you had a secret admirer?
Yes.
Now, how much would you like pay thousands of dollars to just have somebody that admires you anymore? So once you're married and you've been married a long time, we could be each other's secret admirers. So now let's go write down, take some time, spend some time talking about or identifying 10 things you really admire about your spouse, sincerely, that you revere, and why you revere them. What do those things do for you? How does that impact your spouse and your family? How has it changed your life that your spouse brings those things, those traits? Mm-hmm. And then what I want you to do is sit down with each other and share eye to eye, knee to knee, toe to toe, share what you admire, and then make your partner receive it.
You say sometimes these drifts happen because there's a lack of compassion in the relationship.
Huge.
That's sad.
It's really sad. I have a lot of couples that come in, and they know their partner's a good person. They know that, but he's a jerk. And then they just start to tell me everything that he does that is kind of being a jerk. So what I want them to do is reconnect to where they're most vulnerable. Think about your spouse when they're the most vulnerable they could be. When they lost their mother, when they did something really stupid and you caught them and they felt vulnerable, when you've seen them break down. Think about as a child when they were yelled at by their parents that are dysfunctional.
You know what, that flips the emotion, I have to imagine, almost immediately.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. And now all of a sudden, if I can have compassion for him, then I can start to maybe understand in a more compassionate way everything else that he does that maybe isn't always functional or healthy. But once I have the compassion, then I have, by the way, that's a higher form of love. That's kind of the charity love, which we all need a little bit more of the older we get and the harder life gets.
What's our assignment with compassion?
Just think about it, really write it down, try to get in until you feel moved about your partner. And then I want you to go ask them to give you a little more data about that experience where they felt vulnerable. Ask them where they feel vulnerable and see if with compassion you can't share the vulnerability. That'll elevate the relationship.
30 seconds, how can we boost the spirit of service in our marriage?
Number one way to fall in love is to serve. We love people we serve. That's why moms love their kids, because you serve, serve, serve. So make a list of 10 things we could do today to serve our partner. Don't just choose one thing that we always think of. Choose a bunch of things and start serving your partner and commit to serve, 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 and see if it doesn't kind of re-energize the marriage, bring something back.
I like the tangible energy you put at us in the form of these assignments. That's really cool.
And by the way, notice, if you're both doing it, try to notice what your partner's doing to serve you and love you your way.
Hey, you have a communication workshop coming up next month, and I'm not just saying this because he's sitting here, but it will sell out.
It will. They always do. And this is a fun one. August 18th, it's at my office, 9 to 3, and all we talk about is communication. You bring your partner, we'll laugh, we'll have fun, but by the end, you'll have workbooks and tools. You're going to know how to talk through some of your bigger issues.
You're so good at what you do.
It's the best thing we do.
Thanks for sharing your gift with us. We appreciate it.